everybody and welcome. Finally we're getting around to doing the what is it? Cosmos, oh I can't speak today. Cosmos in the Lilac Vase. And this one right over here that a lot of you voted for. So I've laid out a very rough sketch over here on green pastel matte paper. And today, oh, this is up here, I should say. That's up there because I need to tweak it a little bit. Not totally happy with it. Anyway, that's neither here or there, but so you don't get seasickness from all the jiggling around, let's dive straight into the painting. Okay, so here we've got our cosmos, and like I mentioned in the intro there, a very rough sketch. I'm working on the green pastel matte paper here, and the size is 27 centimeters by 28 centimeters. So I did this for a Patreon Picks. I uploaded, I think it was 5 images, and my patrons chose, well, this one got the most votes, I should say. This one and another one, but I finally got around to doing this one. Just painting the light is just so much fun. It's one of my favorite things to paint, and as you can see, the light in this one is very dramatic. The image I created using an AI program called Midjourney. And I just, the inspiration for this one was particularly, I wanted to paint colored glass, particularly on the lilac side. And so that's what I typed in. I want a lilac vase, always with very strong sunlight. And then tweak the image down till it got to this. Now, in the background on the wall, there looks like there's some wallpaper. I've left that out. I've left the wall pretty basic. And also, when I had finished the curtain and the wall, I was like, actually, you can't see much of a differentiation between the wall and the curtain because the colors are virtually the same. So I went back in and I changed the color of the curtain a little bit. So getting the background in first before I start with the actual subject. I'm needing that background in so that I don't have to carve around the flowers in the background. Sometimes I do that, but for this one I thought, okay, let's see if we can get these pink, dusky pink and lilacs to work nicely on top of quite a browny background. The reason I would work around the background, meaning I would put the background in at the same time as I do the flowers, is I'm trying to keep the flower color to be as bright and as contaminated as possible. But because, particularly on the left-hand side, these are dusky pink, so they've got those mauvey, browny, grayish brown tones anyway. So that's why I thought, let's get the full background in, and then I'll work the cosmos on top of that. I'm using a mixture of pastels. So we've got some Unison, Sennelier, Blue Earth pastels. I'm using Giraud. Just a mixture, and you'll see me. Oh, and I use quite a lot of Jack Richardson. I bought the violets set, so I'm using a bit of that. Also using a bit of Art Spectrum. See, lots of different brands, and I'm also using some pastel pencils in here as well. So you can see I virtually don't have any sketch for the cosmos. I just went along as I pasteled. I wanted to get the shape of the vase in there, so you can see I've got an outline of the actual vase, but you'll see me as this goes on. Again, I try and get that outline perfect so that I don't have to faff about with the shape as I go putting the color on, but inevitably something happens and the shape goes wonky, and then I have to end up fixing it anyway. Always happens. And it's okay to organic things like flowers, fruit, vegetables, they have organic shapes, right? They're not perfect and they're all slightly different. You've got to get the overall structure correct, because when you look at a flower and it's cosmos, I've got to make sure that these flowers I'm painting look like cosmos and not roses, right? Or daisies. But you can be a little bit more flexible within those shape structures because it is an organic object, and they don't look all the same exactly. Where something like a man-made object like this glass, I've really got to make sure that the shape is right. If the shape of this vase is wonky, it's going to look wonky and it's going to be an eyesore. So with man-made things, it's really important to get your shapes correct. I hope that makes sense. Obviously, like I said, you've got to get your shapes correct in terms of the cosmos. It's got to look like cosmos, not a rose, obviously. But you can be a little bit more relaxed. If one petal's a little bit lower than the reference photo, it doesn't matter. But on your vase, if say now the top left is lower than the right top, then that's going to be wonky and that's going to not look good. So you can see just building up here. I've put in some of the centers of those flowers using my dark reds, dark orangey tones, browns with a lot of orange in them, and then coming in with some lighter kind of like egg yolk yellows. Got my Terry Ludwigs. Now obviously this is looking very dark, but I know that I'm going to be putting on quite a bit of color on top of these darks, and I'm going to lose those darks. So it's not going to end up looking so black like this. These are the Terry Ludwig's Dark Intense 2s, by the way, mixed in with some Jack Richardson, like I said, from the Violet set. Because I'm putting on so much color, those blacks will fade. They're not actually black, but they're very dark violets and very dark reds from the Terry Ludwig set. So, got to remember that for me, what is the star of the show? The star of the show for this is that light going through that lilac vase. So you can see I've put in some of these blue violets. I used Terry Ludwig as well as Sennelier. And for me, that's the star of the show. And I really wanted to capture that and heighten that. So yeah, instead of going in with a lilac, if you have a look at the reference photograph, you can see blues, like periwinkle sorts of blues. So blues that obviously lean more towards purple, which fits in nice because this is a lilac vase. So I got in those blues, like I said. You'll see me go over quite a few times to get that light in. But I do it with blue violets rather than just lilac or purples. Here, fixing the shape using my pastel pencils. Measuring a little bit with my pencil to see. I knew something wasn't working, so often I'll do some measuring to see. I'll I'll turn my painting upside down to the side. I'll take a photograph and compare the photograph to the reference photo to try and see, what's not working, where's it not working, and try and figure out why it's not working, and then try and fix it from there. See, so building up, going from my dark to light, then you'll see me put in some more light, then you'll see me put some dark in some areas, but just continue building up this vase until I get it to the place that I'm happy with. And this shape vase, because of those ridges, it's really tricky. You've really got to study your reference photograph, because those shapes, those ridges, those valleys and mountains, if you want to call them, that's what's helping giving the shape of the vase. So I'm needing to see where the darks are. Wherever it's dark, that's going to be the indentation of the vase. Where it's lighter, it's going to be risen. So it's the up part of those ridges. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, got to really concentrate. These ridgy things are quite tricky. I've just finished some black cherries that are also in like a smaller china bowl that has these ridges on. But you have to just remember that the dark parts are dark because less light is going in there, and the higher points are lighter because that's where the light is catching. So added a very rough sort of tablecloth-ish just by using a grey pastel on its side and kind of making zigzaggy-ish marks to kind of read as fabric. Didn't want to spend loads of time on the table. That is not the focus. The focus, like I said, is the vase, especially with that blue-violet light coming through. So here you can see I've turned my painting onto its side. I just find getting a different perspective helps me kind of see where I need to place things. Now, this base was way too light when I finished it, so you'll see me, I go back in and I darken down. But yeah, just having a different perspective just helps you again see what changes you need to make if something isn't working, or it's just easier. Like for me, I just thought, hey, let me turn this to the side and see if I can get this shape to work. Again, darkening down. This is the Terry Ludwig. It's a very, very dark violet. I know it looks black on screen, but it's actually a very, very dark purple. Bringing in some of that blue violet again to zhuzh up that middle, just so we can see that this really is the light shining through there. But this is coming to an end soon. If you've liked this, please do hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. And just a few more seconds left, but I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now, and thanks for watching.